us as black women, Paige reminds me a lot of you. Like, you say you're not really about me. And she knows how her privilege has gotten her to that point. And also, like, she's good at basketball, obviously. So, like, she understands her privilege and like, pushes her over the top in a sense. It reminds me a lot of you. And I mean, that's a compliment.
Ijah Wilson, the WNBA's current MVP, was given a lifelong suspension after attempting to play the victim while living a life of luxury. She recently began gesturing her finger at Caitlin Clark in a video that went viral, complaining about how Paige, Becker, and other white players shouldn't be blind to their privilege. Are you hearing yourself, Ijah? You're leading the league in excuses, that's all. I probably prefer to believe that whatever A'ja Wilson says wasn't even accidental. Knew it would be public knowledge that she was being filmed. How daring is it to lead a lavish, comfortable life and then criticize other players whining about their advantages? Ijah, really? While you're sitting back pretending to be a victim, Caitlin Clark is out there earning her spot, setting records and carrying the league. And wish to use oppression as a card? That is really absurd. Before you start casting shade, try getting off that high horse and really competing. Furthermore, I don't think it helps that I'm a white girl entering league where 85% of the women are black and want to rip your head off. Like, just like that, right? As if that were the only reality. Let's examine this more closely. In sincerity, Ijah Wilson wants everyone to believe that she is up against this powerful, oppressive system. Let's not fool ourselves, though. Her tuition at a private school cost $20,000. So Caitlin Clark and Kelsey Plum were out there really grinding to get to the top while she was enjoying her nice cappuccino in an impeccable setting. Your life narrative is not a depressing sob tale. It is the height of luxury. You have a solid family history, are 6 feet 5 inches tall, and have access to all resources. You do sound incredibly repressed, Ijah. The conceit and the nasty, bitter attitudes that a lot of these players are displaying. I believe that this is precisely one of the reasons why, over the course of the last 20 or so years, no one has seemed to care about this league and why there is unquestionably a dislike for it. She attempts to impart privilege lessons to others as, if woman has the only right to suffering, Ijah, my dear, you were given everything you wanted on a silver platter, but Plum and Clark had to work hard to earn their stripes and keep proving themselves because no one was pulling out the stops for them. If having access to the greatest coaches, educational opportunities, and predetermined path is privilege, then Ijah, you may want to review your own biography. However, it seemed to me that Caitlin Clark was receiving a message from. Like, this is how you need to be if you want to get into our league. No, though she simply adores. To just stand there, encased in this victimization mask, as though it would make her look good. It's nearly too much to take the hypocrisy. Ijah, you're out here saying these white players don't understand, but you get to enjoy your own particular brand of privilege on a daily basis. Before criticizing others, consider how you came to be in this situation. Many of you were the same people who were criticizing and accusing others of racist, and your support is neither needed nor desired. In theory, you should be content with the lesser rating since you're receiving what you want. Thus, use caution when making wishes. Due to players like Kelsey Plum and Caitlin Clark earned their place in the league by hard effort rather than by waltzing in on the strength of their skin tone. However, I suppose it doesn't fit into your sob story narrative to acknowledge their hard effort, does it? Now, let's discuss Jason Whitlock and how he completely destroyed Ijah Wilson. He definitely didn't hold back when it came to analyzing the ridiculous bullshit about white privilege that comes out of her mouth. This is Ijah Wilson, the same guy who most likely never had to deal with a broken heater in a locker room. And yet, she's attempting to teach everyone else about suffering out here. I know it's almost too much irony. Furthermore, I don't believe that being a white girl entering the league helps. With 85% of black women wanting to rip your head off like immediately, that's really all there is to it. When Whitlock brought up the fact that she is residing in her world of privilege and dares to voice grievances about it, how are you even able to say that with a straight face? The Nike deal is the icing on the cake of this farce. Oh, this is where the laughs really start to flow. Following her absurd remarks on Caitlin Clark and alleged white privilege, Nike retracts her statements and offers Ijah a signature shoe deal. Similar to what? So let me be clear on this. She calls out Clark, makes racial remarks, manipulates the story like a cheap tabloid, and all of a sudden Nike treats her like a queen? Nike has a distinctive shoe and logo designed by A'ja Wilson. Her shoe won't be purchased by anyone. Nobody is concerned. However, Nike is going over and above to appease Don Staley, A'ja Wilson, and the entire BLM brigade. First, we have to promote A'ja. It seems like Nike went insane when they chose to give A'ja Wilson precedence over Caitlin Clark. It's like throwing out your entire paycheck hoping that a snail would win the Kentucky Derby, really. Who thought it was a good idea to give someone who can hardly create any enthusiasm control over a multi-million-dollar shoe deal? Bless your heart, A'ja, but let's be honest, nobody is waiting in line to purchase footwear with your name. It's absurd. A'ja must therefore develop a certain mindset in order to defend. Receiving care that she is aware she does not deserve, you had the opportunity to print money with Nike. The genuine celebrity who has everyone glued to their televisions. However, you went and supported someone who was enmeshed in a victim narrative, even if Caitlin was the one carrying the WNBA on her back. The showstopper, Caitlin. Performances that smash records? Simple. Shooting threes from the half court as if they were free throws? Simple as pie. Caitlin is rewriting the entire script while A'ja is busy complaining about so-called white privilege and attempting to slant the story to suit her. She's thriving, not simply getting by. Seeing A'ja attempt to appear important in the face of Caitlin's hordes of true fans, people who recognize talent, is almost funny. There is more to Caitlin's fan base than merely white people supporting her. Nope, she's gained the respect and admiration of people from all walks of life, including a sizable fan base of black people who accept her for who she truly is. An occurrence. An innovator. A'ja is over there, frantically attempting to keep up while clutching her pearls. While Caitlin continues to push the limits of what is possible in women's basketball, she is coming up with every old excuse under the sun and story she can think of. It's like witnessing someone running a 100-meter dash past a marathon runner. While Caitlin has already crossed the finish line and is rejoicing, A'ja is still struggling to breathe. A'ja's attempts to discredit Caitlin are pitiful. In addition to being sad, she just draws attention to her own fears every time she lets out a tirade about privilege. Although she seems to be trying to play the victim, it's becoming more and more obvious that her fear is of being overshadowed. You already are A'ja. When the Caitlin Clark sneaker is made available, appears they should really refer to it as the air suppression, as in essence they are promoting A'ja Wilson by stifling any information about the player who is by far the most well-liked in the league. And since Caitlin's legacy has already been established, any attempt to drag, you're only making yourself appear smaller by putting her down. Kids will look up to Caitlin as the player who draws attention to herself. You are creating a wall between yourself and reality, not the story you think you are creating. Nike is really supporting the wrong horse as they're busy attempting to force A'ja Wilson's shoes down everyone's throat in the hopes of being the next great thing. A'ja may be holding on to her victim mentality, but Caitlin is the real deal, the genuine narrative, and she's out there ruling. Better luck next time, Nike. Now that you're stuck with a player whose story is disintegrating quicker than her relevance, you should have seen who the true queen is. A'ja would also win the MVP award in that league if irony were a sport. In the meantime, Caitlin Clark is performing epic feats, shattering records, and embodying every quality that a great celebrity possesses. A'ja is the major attraction, but Nike wants to promote her like that. Does not increase TV ratings or sell shoes. That is not his job. That is A'ja Wilson. Nevertheless, she must acquire the mentality that I'm owed this, and you white girls need to back your ass up while I get what's owed to me. It is perpetual restitution. Nike is utterly disregarding the real face of the WNBA because they are too preoccupied attempting to position A'ja as its spokesperson. The true highlight reel and true star is Caitlin Clark. Viewers want to see talent, not turmoil. Perhaps Nike missed the memo. This is an utter humiliation, not just a marketing gaffe. It's amazing how different A'ja's self-described struggle is from who is genuinely succeeding on the court. However, A'ja, keep advancing that story. It's really effective. For everyone, excluding you. White girl, you're second class to me. Give me things I don't deserve. Caitlin Clark is busy making history and shattering records while A'ja is out here complaining and causing trouble to stay relevant. You can only imagine the kind of tremendous viewership she's attracting. A'ja's games barely managed to draw in 900,000 spectators, whereas Caitlin's games had 1.8 million people glued to their screens. A'ja, the numbers are undoubtedly not in your favor, and they don't lie either. Caitlin Clark is out here demonstrating why she's the true star that everyone wants to watch. while you're busy whining about privilege. I think Caitlin Clark pulled in 1.8 million views on an NFL Sunday a couple of Sundays ago. The Aces Liberty game this past Sunday attracted 900,000 spectators, according to iJaw Wilson. Actually, that's 300,000 more than I had estimated. It's almost depressing, really, iJaw, you have such a remarkable talent, but you're using your platform to finger point and complain about perceived slights rather than utilizing it to push yourself to new heights. Perhaps if you put more effort into accepting your leadership position in the sport and less effort into attempting to be the victim, people would talk about your game rather than your complaints. Because Caitlin Clark is white, she isn't receiving attention. Every time she plays, she lights up the court, which is why she's drawing attention. You're shouting at the wind while standing there with your arms crossed, hoping that someone will believe what you're saying. Here are some suggestions. Before you begin lecturing others about something, take a look in the mirror. Honor. Even though you're sitting there taking advantage of every chance that comes with your position and abilities, you act as though the deck is stacked against you. It's nearly absurd because they don't understand the world isn't rolling its eyes at your troubles. They can see right through your charade, which is why they are rolling their eyes. Instead than focusing on your worn-out story, consider showcasing your talent.